Hi everyone, it's me, Brittany, here with my 26 weeks pregnant update. I'm 26 weeks and 1 day today. So as far as my past week symptoms, just more backache, frequent urination, and I'm having increased soreness down in that area. Other than that, I don't think I really have anything new, just the repeat symptoms that I guess I'm probably going to have until I have her. And as far as with baby, I feel like she is in the womb that never sleeps, like how New York is a city that never sleeps. I feel like I feel her every 2 hours, which I love feeling her move. I just don't really know what to determine when or her. They say now you can kind of notice her sleep and wake cycles, and I feel like she's always awake. And then I was reading how they're responding to light. So I've been sometimes I put the light from my cell phone, or my cell phone has a flashlight feature. And it's so funny, I see her moving around so much, so I guess she's trying to get away from the light. I feel like I have so much to share this week, so I did write some stuff down, so I will be looking down. I'm going to try to go through it quickly so that this video isn't forever. So this is random. It doesn't have anything to do with pregnancy. But last week, I had some friends visiting from the Bahamas, so we were over near the Disney area. So we went into Walgreens, and some of the people with me, they had went to start loading stuff in the car, and I stayed behind with someone because I was getting a rain check for them. So all of a sudden, we hear like this loud commotion, and you hit my child and stuff like that. And so we run out, and then like the store manager runs out, and we didn't know what was going on because my friend, she has an 11-year-old daughter, so we didn't know if her daughter got hit by a car or whatever. So we went out, and apparently it was this lady who had attacked her child. She was trying to get to my friend, but her 11-year-old stood to try to defend her, protect her. So as a result, she ended up hitting her child, and it's like my friend had to have like a shopping cart to try to get in between this woman. So they did realize that she did have mental problems. Apparently she had kind of been taking some of her clothes off before. She was just cussing at them for no reason, like everything was unprovoked. And she had been biting her arm apparently before she came over. So that's when they knew it was like a problem. So it did kind of turn to like a big ordeal because you had to call the police. And the lady, she did have like her mother, her sister, and some other people with her. So just a huge concern was, if this lady has this problem and then she has violent outbursts, why isn't anyone constraining her, because they didn't even go after her when she ran to attack my friend. And she did try to just even one of my friend's cousin, like she tried to start chasing after her or whatever. So it was just really crazy. And like another concern was, they were like, what if, I had been out there during that time or whatever. And I mean, that definitely would have been an issue if she had attacked me, with being pregnant and everything. So I know that was random, but I wanted to share that. That was part of my week. So yesterday I attended an epidural class. My husband, he works at a hospital, and so I was able to take the class there for free. And if I didn't already have other plans or arrangements with other people that day, it would have been a waste because my husband works an hour away. And just the class was just so brief, and I didn't really find it that informative. Like, I was in there less than 20 minutes. Basically, well, let me say this as a disclaimer. I don't want to deter anyone from taking an epidural class, especially if they know that's what they want. I do want to do a natural, unmedicated birth, but I'm not completely opposed to an epidural. Like, I haven't been through childbirth. I don't know how it's going to feel. So I did want to equip myself with the tools to be informed. And a lot of stuff I have been reading before. And, I have had the luxury of attending a few births and even seeing an epidural administered. So basically, the anesthesiologist, he was in there. He hits play on a video that was only like 7 to 8 minutes, if that. Then he comes back and he had like the women who were delivering at that hospital complete forms as far as with name, um, due dates, and their OBGYN or midwife. And then they had to go over various medical conditions, like to indicate it on the form, as far as if they had respiratory issues or something with their heart or neurological. And it even asked for things they needed to know if they had large lower back tattoos. So I'm just like, wow, it just seemed really random. They need to know if they had wisdom teeth extracted. So it's a lot that they need to know. And I think they just have them fill that out just to cut down on what they need to do once a woman comes in for labor and delivery. So, like I said, I wasn't even in there 20 minutes. The anesthesiologist did ask, was it any questions? And then he's like, oh, well, it's pretty straightforward, huh? And then one lady did ask a question, and she just wanted to know, since she had had surgery before with anesthesia, obviously, she wanted to know if that would affect the epidural. So the anesthesiologist said that, the two didn't correlate, didn't have anything to do with the other. So I did intend on doing a video to review the class, but it was so short, so I can just say it here, just if people wanted to know. As far as the video, it did show it being administered, as far as when they stick the needle in, and then the little thin catheter, and how they pull the needle out. And just watching it, it just kind of deterred me even more from wanting to have it. They went over the benefits, which is obviously pain relief, but in some cases you're not fully numb. And it was just lots and lots of side effects, as far as with your blood pressure dropping, which with one of my friends, I did see that happen. And when your blood pressure drops when you're pregnant, that can cause the baby's heart rate to get lower. So it was like all these things they were scrambling around doing with my friend to regulate her blood pressure. So I personally felt that it was more risk than benefits. And it just really, I just feel like it was just a general video that kind of went over things that you can look up online, that you can read about, that you probably can find a video on YouTube. So I don't know the format at every hospital, so some might be different. I believe they have one here in my area where the anesthesiologist, he or she actually teaches the class. So that's what I was trying to figure out beforehand. So if you know that's the format with just a little short video and filling out a form, unless you're definitely doing the epidural for sure, I probably wouldn't recommend taking one, especially if it's a class that you had to pay for. I'm just thankful that that wasn't anything that I paid for, because then I would have really been mad. Trying to get things together for the baby shower. Even though I'm going with that package, I still feel like I have so much to do. So my baby shower is in about 6 weeks. So my cousin who's hosting it, I do want to figure out some games with her. So if you guys have suggestions for games, because I am having a co-ed shower, so it will be both men and women there. So I want something where the guys can be involved as well. And then even just ideas for little inexpensive prizes for the game winners. So I'm thinking maybe 3 to 4 games. With the format of my shower, it is going to be 3 hours. So I was thinking maybe the first half hour or even up to the first hour, that allows time for people to eat. I'm having finger foods, I think. I'm going to work out a menu. But I think I'm just going to have like sandwiches, fruit, cheese and crackers, things of that nature, because it's mainly chairs, it's not really tables. So I wanted food that people could feel comfortable eating sitting down, opposed to needing to have a table. And I was going on with the format, I'm sorry. So the first half hour to an hour, that's kind of people can mingle and eat or whatever. Then I was thinking the next hour would be games. So I don't know if, I guess depending on the length of the games, I would think that we could do 3 to 4 games within an hour. Then the last hour would be for opening gifts. So that's how I'm kind of scheduling it. And then I have decided I don't want a cake. Well, first I was thinking I just want a small cake and then cupcakes. But now that I've learned the proper term, cupcake tower, that's what I want. And I'll insert a picture. But basically, it's a small cake, and then it's a tiers of cupcakes. So that's what I want, and I'm trying to find someone local that does it. I did contact my local Publix, and they'll do it, but the cake is, at the top is 8 inches, which serves about 10 people, and then they only have enough room for 24 cupcakes. And I'm probably having like 60 or so people at the shower, so that's not going to cut it. I would need at least 2, and I would like to have just one big tower. I was watching louloumatou, hope I'm saying that right, and she just recently had a 3D 4D ultrasound scan. So as part of my package with the shower, one of those is included, as far as I could come in, have like a 30-minute session. They'll record on DVD the session. They'll give me, I don't remember the quantity, but I get black and white and color photos, and then I also get a CD with all the photos on it. So anyway, she just had hers at 27 weeks, and she included the pictures in her video, and it was so clear. Now this is her second child, and with her first child, she had a scan done in 30 weeks, and it was just like night and day. I mean, you could still see her first son at 30 weeks, but it's just so much clarity. So I was aware of, as the baby gets bigger, it's less space, so you don't always get the clearest of picture. But something that she mentioned, as far as with that protective hair that the baby has, they start shedding it, so that makes your amniotic fluid a little cloudy, for lack of a better word, so you don't always get as clear of a picture. Because I was going to get it done at 30 weeks, which would be 2 weeks before our shower, because we're doing a slideshow, but we're going to incorporate the footage from the scan into the slideshow, so I didn't want to have it ahead of time. But now I'm going to go ahead and do that at 28 weeks. I was looking at a site, and I'll put it at the bottom. It's peekawomb.com, and they have a calendar feature on there. Yes, it says calendar and when to peak. So you can put in your due date, and it'll break down as far as it'll put your weeks with a calendar, and it'll show when you have the best viewing, when you have a good viewing, and then I believe it was after 32 weeks, they said they couldn't guarantee how clear it would be as far as with the size of the baby, how they're positioned, and then your fluids not being as clear. So the best time for viewing was 26 to 28 weeks. So I would like to be on the latter end of 28 weeks, because I would like when she's bigger. So for me, I'm actually going to go on Christmas Eve, which I think that's cool. We're making Trinity part of the Christmas holidays. So it's going to be that morning. So once I have that, I will share that with you guys. I have been looking for a pediatrician, and so I actually already have some meetings set up with one of the pediatricians. I was actually able to talk to him directly today, which I thought that was cool, because that wasn't my expectation. I thought I'd be dealing with a nurse or a receptionist or something. So it was very nice. He was very accommodating, and he's meeting with me tomorrow before he has patients. So I did appreciate that. And then I have an additional meeting tomorrow afternoon. I have one next week, and then I have one facility that I think is just a large office, and they have a lot of patients. So what they do is the second Tuesday of each month, that's when you go in with another group of parents to look it out. So I don't know how I feel about that, because that just already makes me feel like they have a whole bunch of patients, and I just want to see how quickly, a pediatrician will be able to get my child in, when they're sick or whatever. But I'm still going to check that out. So with I can't go until January. So I would, for especially first-time moms who don't have a, well, for one, if you have people, see, I don't really have people close to me with young children, so I couldn't really get any recommendations that way. So this is what I did. When I toured the hospital, they gave me a list. I can't find it. But they gave me a list of pediatricians who will come to the hospital. That was something else that I kind of wanted. I kind of wanted a pediatrician that will already come to the hospital. That way, that's the pediatrician just automatically already caring for our daughter, and then they just transition into their office. So, and I've noticed not all pediatricians will come there after you deliver the baby. So that's a factor for me. So I have selected 4 off of that list. I might possibly visit another one. And also I was making sure they were also covered with our insurance. And also with our insurance, we have a directory. So just from, this is for Florida or whatever, and it's broken down by county. So if I don't like any of these pediatricians that I'm going to meet and interview with, then I will start going through the directory, find people close in my area, because that is something else that's important to me. I would want a pediatrician that's no more than 15 minutes away. I remember as a kid, my pediatrician, we probably had to drive like 30 minutes. But especially if your child's sick, I want someone who's close. And also with that, I know in one of my videos I mentioned this app on the iPad. It's called 40 Weeks. And they have a feature on there, different questions that you can ask your pediatrician. And that's probably something that you can just Google anyway. But just to give you guys some ideas, I mean, obviously the obvious as far as if they take your insurance, or what are the other arrangements if you don't have health insurance, being familiar with the fees, the normal office hours, the weekend and holiday office hours, the average wait time, seeing how long the appointment would be, seeing if you'd be able to talk to the doctor directly over the phone if you wanted to. And I mean, you can find out background things if you want to know where they went to med school, where they did their residency, and as far as learning their philosophies on baby care, like breastfeeding, circumcision, how they recommend getting the baby to go to sleep, immunizations, stuff of that nature. Then overall, just as you review, seeing if that's a convenient location for you, seeing how long your wait was, seeing how friendly the staff is, because I've been to some places, just not necessarily the pediatrician, but just the doctor's office, just the staff has turned me off, and it's not really even a reflection of the doctor. And then one thing I thought was really important is seeing if they have a separate waiting area for sick children, because you may just be taking your baby in for a checkup or a shot. They're not sick, but they need to go to the pediatrician. So I just wouldn't really want them commingling with children who are sick. I have been on a doula mission. I really want a doula. I know I mentioned in the breastfeeding video how it would be possible to get a doula intern, and I have not heard anything from that company. So I'm doing research, even if I do have to pay someone. It's just really, that's something that's really important to me with my birth experience, and I would like to have a doula. So I am going to do a separate video on as far as my process and things that I feel that you should look for if that's something you desire to have. But just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to say that I have reached out to some doulas. I do have some interviews set up as early as the end of this week. I am trying to make a decision within the next few weeks, since I will shortly be into my 3rd trimester. So look out for the video. I'm going to try to do that today so that it'll be up when this is up, and that'll be more detailed. So that's enough. That is enough talking for today. So I will go ahead and show you my belly. So here's from the front, right side and left side. Here's with the shirt up. And I felt very insulted yesterday. I was in a store and this lady comes up to me and she says, "Oh, are you having a Christmas baby?" Like, I do not look like I'm due in 3 weeks. She was just really pushing it. If I can get this tape measure doesn't want to lie right. Okay. Some technical difficulties. Okay. Looks like I'm about 34 3/4. Oh, and I do want to mention, because I don't know if I ever mentioned it, because presently I'm not working, but I had been interviewing for jobs and everything. Basically, I was still commuting where my husband was commuting, and I did that for 3 months, and I was paying like $100 a week in gas, and we worked different shifts, so it was just crazy expensive. And I had just finished my MBA this past May, so we were hoping I found something soon. So I hadn't so far, and I found out I was pregnant shortly after leaving that particular job. But I do have an interview tomorrow, so hopefully that goes well, and it's a temp to permanent position, so I will be content even with something temporary. I'm ready to get back to work. So wish me luck with that, and thank you guys for watching, and I will see you at 27 weeks.